Last week, Kimberly Guilfoyle, the fiance of Donald Trump Jr., voluntarily appeared virtually in front of members of the January 6th committee. But according to her and her lawyers, it was only supposed to be the staffers of the committee. And of course, they grew irate when they turned it on, and there in the video was Adam Schiff, a member of the select committee. So, in her anger, Kimberly Gilfoyle and her attorneys, through a massive hissy fit, ended the voluntary talks and said, "We are done. This is not what we agreed to. We said we'd speak with the committee, not the committee. So we're done." So this week, the committee said, "All right, now we're going to hit you with a subpoena. We tried to play nice. You know, the committee has made it clear, even in a statement issuing this subpoena, that, listen, we don't like doing subpoenas. Okay, it's a lot of work. You know, you just don't want to have to mess with all of that nonsense because you got to go to the court to get the subpoena and all that. It's a hassle, right? So what they've been hoping to do with everybody is get them to come and sit voluntarily. You know, you just give us the info that we're asking you for. We don't have to go to the courts. You don't have to get lawyers. Let's just do this and be done and move on with our day." And that, of course, is what Kimberly Gilfoyle originally acted like she was going to do. Now, I personally tend to believe that this entire thing on Guilfoyle's part was staged. She wanted to make a scene. She wanted to be the center of attention. And of course, she wanted to get in those headlines. That's why she probably stormed out of that meeting. And of course, this happened after her CPAC speech last week. So the committee decided to just say, you know what? We're not playing around. We're done with this. Big things are happening. And obviously there was major news from the committee this week where they basically came out and said in a court filing, "We think Donald Trump broke the law at least 3 times along with his lawyer, John Eastman." Those are not accusations that they make lightly. And of course, they could dramatically alter what is happening in the United States today if they decide to recommend criminal charges against Donald Trump. So I think the committee has made it clear, we're done being nice. Okay? Kimberly, you had the opportunity to talk to us via Zoom or whatever, app they used for that. You ran off because you threw a temper tantrum because you thought it was unfair. Now you can't run. And experts are already predicting that even if she tries to claim attorney-client privilege for any of the documents that they're, trying to get their hands on, it ain't going to work. Because, of course, of the criminal implications. See, that's when attorney-client privilege, for those who are not familiar with this, kind of goes out the window, right? You can't straight up go up to your lawyer, confess to all of these horrible things, and have the lawyer legally forbidden from ever being able to talk about these things. If it is relevant to other situations, other cases where crimes were committed, a court can waive the attorney-client privilege. They can also choose not to. It's not to say that, if you know something bad, the privilege goes out the window. That's up for the courts to decide. So in this particular instance, because this isn't, something that's necessarily going to land Kimberly Guilfoyle in prison, attorney-client privilege likely would be waived so that they could get information that may put somebody else behind bars. So that's the situation that we're dealing with here. And of course, the committee understands Guilfoyle helped to organize the Stop the Steal rally. She was allegedly raising money for it. And the Stop the Steal rally is what preceded the Capitol riot, yada, yada. We know the timeline. And all of this could have been avoided had she not acted like a petulant child and just sat through that very short Zoom meeting like so many of us have had to do in the last 2 years. Meetings we didn't want to attend, seeing people we didn't necessarily want to see, but we sucked it up because we were adults, and we weren't even facing subpoenas for any of those meetings we had to do for work, were we, folks? But now she is, because she can't keep herself together for 1 frickin' hour to sit through a meeting. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low, low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel. We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.